Okay, let's start with the good. And the good is for the Ontario Hockey League, righting a wrong upon re-review. If you saw Game 2 of the Brantford Bulldogs Oshawa Generals series, you saw Generals defenseman Andrew Gibson catch Bulldogs star goal scorer Nick Lardis with a knee-on-knee collision. Now, it was reviewed in the arena, not even called a penalty. However, new video emerges, an angle that the officials in the arena did not see. The league looks at it and says, oh no, that's a suspension, and retroactively assesses Gibson the 2-game suspension. It was the right call to make because when you saw the other angle, it was pretty clear that Gibson led with his knee in the collision. And I'll never understand that. Gibson laid a similar hit in the World Juniors, you might remember. I don't understand the leading with the knee. I think you're putting yourself at as much risk as the guy you might be colliding with, but that's a whole other story. The bad in this is, can you please just get off my case? I'm not trying to pick on the officials here. I did say that I couldn't believe it was not called a penalty in the arena, but that's not the officials' fault. They didn't have access to this video that the league got to see. And this is where the problem is. Video replay is clearly here to stay. I don't love it, but it is what it is. And I trust these guys, the referees, the other off-ice officials in the building. I trust them. They know the rules. They know what they're looking for when they take out that iPad. The problem is, clearly, they don't have all of the available video, all of the available angles. And that's got to change. I'm sorry, I can't remember if I mentioned this here before or if I mentioned it on the OHL podcast. But regardless, I'm mentioning it again. If we want these officials to do their very difficult job to the best of their abilities, we've got to give them all of the tools, and that means all of the angles. It's not complicated. It's not expensive. So whatever angle existed that the officials couldn't see, let's make sure they can see it next time. The officials in the building, on and off the ice, should have access to every possible angle. That way, they can make the very best decision. As for Andrew Gibson and all of this, I don't think he's a bad guy. I don't think he's a dirty player, but this is very similar to the hit he laid at the World Juniors. I'll never really understand the leading with the knee thing, and it makes you wonder, when a guy like Nick Lardis is out of the playoffs, that doesn't just hurt the Brantford Bulldogs, it hurts Ontario Hockey League fans not getting the chance to see what Lardis and his 71 regular season goals might have been capable of in these playoffs. It makes me think of the whole eye for an eye argument when it comes to suspensions. The player that does the injuring remains out of the lineup as long as the player who was injured. But we'll just leave that there for right now. And some bonus content for those of you who want to stick around this week. I'm standing in front of the Kitchener Memorial Auditorium in the town where I grew up and where the team that I cover plays. Am I a bit of a homer? Yeah, maybe you think I'm a lot of a homer, but it's hard to grow up in a town cheering for a team since the Al McInnes and Paul Coffey days and Scott Stevens and Brian Bellows, and then get the chance to cover the team and not hope that your hometown team wins. But I want to give a shout out to the Windsor Spitfires. That's right, the team that's currently leading the Rangers in the second round of the playoffs, and the way they are run organizationally. I've had the chance over the last couple of games to run into a few of the Spitfires players before the game as they're taking in the atmosphere at this beautiful arena here in Kitchener and getting ready for the game. We engage in some conversation. These are really polite and fine young men, and I think that should be acknowledged. And then you think about the Spitfires as an organization and how they run things, and it's pro through and through, from Nick Welsh, their communications guy. Stu Carter is one of the best stats guys in the league. Remo, who handles marketing and branding, is an absolute beauty. Even Jim Parker, who writes for the Windsor Star. Really good people, top to bottom within the Spitfires organization. There's a little saying about winning with humility, and certainly the Spitfires are doing it with class in this second round. I'm Farwell. It's Friday. We'll see you at the rink.